Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Xenogears. I'm Dan.
And I'm Austin.
We are here to play games.
Really badly, a little confusedly, with a whole lot of questions.
That's right. So I do want to go ahead and show you guys the Slayer robe that we got from the Alpha Veltal encounter real quick. I've gone ahead and done some re-equipping of our main party here. It's certainly stronger. I think the last thing we were using was either the dark armor or the black leather. Anyway, it's a solid little trophy item, but if you didn't get it from Alpha Veltal, don't worry about that. It's just kind of more of a trophy than anything. We are in Merkava at the moment. We've been looking for Ellie, finally found her somehow. And I'm running into this next encounter with Faye Citan and Bart here. And just to give you a little rundown on equipment before we kind of get into everything that's going on. I'm running Ether AR +3 along with magnetic coats on everybody. You're going to want good Ether defense for what's coming up here. And I don't believe, other than the trader card, none of this really does much. Oh, I do have holy pendants that I'm running on everyone but Faye, because Systemid is not affected by holy pendants.
Is there a reason that you only have one accessory
On Bart?
Yeah.
Because he's in his gear, and no other accessories matter currently. I could equip some things, but I had unequipped everything from him before.
Okay, so the holy pendant's the only one that carries over to the gear as well, basically.
The only thing I am equipping. There are other accessories that matter in a gear.
Right.
Actually, to give you an example, I believe I talked about this before. I do have evasion rings. So these do work in gears. The thing is, I'm using Bart, and evasion rings and Wild Smile don't stack. And Wild Smile is actually better.
Right.
So I'm not using that.
Okay.
But yeah, the only things that affect anything that I have equipped in gears on our characters is the trader card here and the holy pendants.
Okay.
We'll be getting more into some of that equipment stuff at a later time, but yeah, for now especially, you don't have a lot of access to things that affect gears. That will change drastically though. But yeah, Merkava, we were talking about this just as we were getting started, and Merkava is a word. It's a Hebrew word, generally translated as the chariot of God. So it was referred to in the game as kind of the Ark of God. And it's where Krellian has brought kind of the pieces of the system to put back together, along with Ellie. Ellie is here as well, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's do it.
Still reeling a little bit from some of the revelations from last time, and there are plenty more to come in this episode.
Yeah. I left the last episode feeling a little frustrated, so...
Yeah, I think we're talking about it, and some of the pacing on Disc 2, along with just kind of where we had to actually stop, was a little bit frustrating, so we'll relieve that frustration.
Krellian or Groff is my guess.
Nope. Actually, this was mentioned last time. Ramses is who this is.
Oh. Okay.
Yep.
I've been waiting for you, Faye. Ramses? Oh, that's a different gear.
Yep. Vendetta got crunched by Veltal 2.
Oh, that's true. It did.
But yeah, Vendetta's gone, so Ramses is using a different Omni gear.
It's a weird-looking gear, too.
Mm-hmm.
Faye, if only you hadn't ever been born. We're going to settle this now. Stop it, Ramses. What reason is there to continue fighting me? Who are you fighting for? Why do you always have a bone to pick with me? Tell me why. As he's like clapping his hands like a monkey with the cymbals.
He's like punching his fists together.
Yeah.
It does kind of sound like that, though.
Well,
Clang.
the thing above it looks like a smaller chest piece of a gear with its hands together.
Yes, this is one of the weirdest gears in the game. I quite like it, but it is definitely a weird gear.
It is all because of you. If only you hadn't come in and destroyed my prospects in life. My life was given to me within a nanoreactor in Krellian's laboratory. Those nanoreactors do a lot of different things.
They do.
To be born as a superior being above all humans, but then... Flashback!
That's right.
This time, your body is young. The previous one got too old. And the name? Karen. But individual names have no meaning to me. So, what brings you here? Is this that thing inside the nanoreactor there? Inside the nanoreactor there? The one? Huh? Oh, recognition code. 0808191. Ramses. The Emperor has been told it's a prototype for an artificial contact. Oh my gosh, I called it.
Yep.
Okay, moving on.
Yep.
A vindication. What's its status? It has entered the so-called first growth stage. From now until the binding, its growth will be several times faster than that of an ordinary human. But its psychological development will be a little difficult to control. It is a replica, so that is to be expected. It is moving. Can it hear us? Yes, it already has a will of its own. Then, I have a better way. Let us dispose of it. We do not need this. We have my child. My child will be 4 this year. Your having a child is significant? Yes. I checked it out. There is no mistake. It's a contact. What's its name? My child's name is? Faye. Oh, and then that explains the... Okay.
What's that?
So there's a flashback when we first meet Ramses.
Mm-hmm.
Which now we understand the id overlay.
Yes.
But there's that line, my child's name is Faye.
Exactly.
He was remembering Karen saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you understand what this means? A corresponding antitype is... Yes, probably already born somewhere. The final one. Aha.
Mm-hmm.
Then, this thing is worthless.
Contact and the antitype.
The final one, too, apparently.
Exactly.
Interesting. Yes, totally useless. And there's a huge implication that Karen here is mother.
Mm-hmm.
Chase after it, boy. A love that's unattainable for you, no matter how hard you try to pursue it. Until then. Interesting.
Indeed.
Because of your existence, I was discarded.
It's really why Ramses does the things he does. Mostly because of that. He was thrown away, literally.
Yeah, he's bitter. Understandably.
Mm-hmm.
I was destined to be the representative of God, having the might of the Emperor. I was destined to be the ultimate existence, having the power to exercise absolute control over all. But I lost it all because of you. My mother? How do you know her? Ramses! Oh, hey, Dominia.
Yeah.
Commander, please stop this. Commander, if what you say is true, then that is even more of a reason not to fight. Oh, right, because they joined us to get retrieve Ramses.
Yeah, that's their only reason for coming here, is to help him.
Right. Again, that was part of the brain still stuff with a whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was in a cutscene, or like I call it a cutscene, but it was a still image. The G elements were pursuing us into Markava.
Yep, part of that exposition chair.
Mm-hmm.
You were just chosen by Krellian and... Silence. You. Even you. Dare to censor me? I saved you from nearly becoming a test subject, and now you turn on me? You are mistaken. We only are thinking of your best interests. Silence. Ultimately, only I can help myself. I am the only one that can correct this. This is the end for you. On guard, because here I come, Faye.
All right. So this is Vina.
It's weird. Okay.
Yeah. So Vina is probably a mistranslation of Bana, which is a mythological ant-eating serpent with a head at each end. So it has two heads. Kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And here's why Vina is difficult.
Oh.
Now everyone has 1 HP.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah, so we are going to go ahead and use our frame HP 30s. I do recommend just a 30 for this battle. That should be more than adequate. Definitely do it immediately. He won't attack you quickly enough to kill you at 1 HP if you immediately frame HP. Now he will cast wave number 3 again at certain points in the battle, but definitely just heal up every time he does it, and then you should be in good shape. There we go. Alright, go ahead and get everybody on booster here. How dare you? Now, one thing this does do is it turns your hyper mode chance up because you have lowered HP. That, of course, doesn't matter for Faye. Whoops. Does. Hyper mode time.
If I'm quiet, it's because I'm typing stuff up. Give me a moment.
No problem.
But that is... We got some fun stuff happening.
Yeah, one thing I did want to explain, because I recall your question about why does he look that way. Kind of in the test tube, and I think we saw a picture of Ramses being discarded.
Right, and he still looked like a fetus, essentially. Right,
like a weird, screwed up type of fetus, yeah. Hyper mode 30%. Let's roll the dice. So there is a story created by Soraya Saga called Dark Summer, which outlines what Ramses actually did after he was discarded. And essentially what happened is he chanced on a 15-year-old boy named Karan Becker and killed and fused with him. And so the story takes place with him trying to kind of adjust and his parents noticing the changes, the Karan Becker's parents noticing the changes in their son. And then basically once his parents pass away, he changed his name in the Solaris Registrar to Charon Ramses and then enrolled in Jugend. So that's a little backstory, but the reason he looks like a human and did not initially is because he literally killed somebody and transformed that way.
Aw. That's wild.
Yeah. There goes Anphasvina. All right, level 80 for Faye, which means we have learned his final death blow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yamake.
Yeah, we will be making use of that at a certain point. Yeah, it's going to be very cool.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Gah!
Like, exploded the wall.
What's this? Unfazed by the fact that the guy just exploded. It's fine.
Yeah, just kind of walk in. It's fine.
What is this place? This is where Kar was born, and where his hatred of you was forged. Who's there?
What have we here?
What is this? That's literally what I was asking. I didn't even realize it was the words in the text box. that was Austin asking, not Faye, but it worked out. That's Ellie.
Channeling Faye there.
Yes. Oh, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie.
Krellian likes crucifying people for some reason.
Yeah. I would have liked to have been able to commend you for making it here, but your efforts were all in vain. The resurrection of Deus is imminent. Sacrificing this girl will bring about the awakening of God. What are you talking about? Why does Ellie have to be sacrificed? There's no need for you to know. For all of you, it will all end here. Ah!
That should also look familiar. We finally get to deal with the Solaris Omni Gear.
Man.
With no chance to heal.
Adieu, boys. It has
Opiomorph.
eyes.
What? What has eyes?
The thing behind the
Oh,
gear.
Yeah, Deus. That's Deus.
Oh, that's a different Deus than we saw previously.
Yes, it is. All right.
Were those eyes open when we first showed up?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, okay. I just didn't recognize them being eyes, I guess.
Yep, no problem. We will get a much better look at it here momentarily. So for now, I actually am not sure of any of the etymology behind Opiomorph off the top of my head. It does remind me of just opium as a word. I'm unsure if that's part of the reason for the gear naming, so I'll check that out. However, notably, Opiomorph is Myang's Omni Gear. So she is the one riding it, and we are fighting her. This is the first time we have directly fought her. She was in her gear in a couple of gear encounters. The C1 Vierge is her regular gear that she was using, but this is her Omni Gear. Now, the other thing we're going to do, because we were put into this fight without really much of a chance to heal. So, Opiomorph has one attack, wave number 4 Devastator. What this does is it does damage to your gears based on the damage you've done to it. And defense down, ether attack down, those apply. I believe those are self buffs and debuffs that it will get. So if I poke it, defense up, ether attack up.
Oh.
So this battle is unfortunately a little bit of a slog, especially after Ramses in Anphasvina. I'm going to get everybody up to level 1 here, just so my charges do a little more fuel, and then
Sure.
I'll get another attack level after the next Devastator, because it'll do damage to all our gears with the damage we've given it. So we want to make sure to not get overwhelmed here before we can get fully charged up.
Right. Wave 4 Devastator.
Yeah, and if you're not prepared for this fight and you just kind of come in swinging, especially after you're weakened by the previous battle, that can be pretty rough. So definitely take a moment. If you kind of sit and do nothing for a minute and kind of get your fuel up at least a little bit higher, like to about halfway, you'll be fine. But that does make this battle just a little tedious, unfortunately.
Well, if it's tedious, I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
That I'm hoping you can, or we can discuss while we're slogging through this.
While we wait. Yeah.
While we wait. So, we're getting confirmation that Ramses was built to be an artificial contact, which I don't remember if I said that
You did.
directly in our recordings, but I know I put it in my notes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've said that. I don't remember if it was in a recording either, but yeah, you definitely have said it before.
Right. Which I thought was really interesting, which kind of, excuse me, got some flip. But that kind of begs the question, if he was also meant to be a Cain, was Cain also a form of contact, right? Which is something I had asked before.
Right.
I don't know if that's what that is. It doesn't really matter. Cain's dead, but just kind of curious.
Yeah, Krellian did say that only Cain can kill Cain, which implies that Ramses is also a type of Cain, right?
Right.
So what does an artificial contact actually mean? What is that? And that's a difficult... Huh?
We don't really know, is the thing.
Right. So we have to answer that question first, but... yes, he is a type of Cain, and he is a type of artificial contact. However, what I'll say about that is I believe those are two things that were combined in the way Ramses was built.
Sure. I was going to say it could also just be a combination of things, but again, I don't really know because I don't have the data. I was just curious.
Yeah. So Cain refers to the contact as an other. So... for example, Cain is not a contact. Now, what an artificial contact is, we'll kind of theorize on that, because we're going to learn basically what that actually means pretty soon here. Okay, that's about it for that. We're going to keep charging here. Now that we're at 3, we'll charge a little bit faster, so... Oh, alright. We'll do the 10x charge since he got hyper mode.
The other thing to point out here is that this is the first time we've really seen anything of Karen besides a flashback where she's kicking a ball with Faye.
Mm-hmm.
And she clearly has become the mother.
Yes.
In that scene with Ramses. And I am curious if she was Karen and then the mother took over.
That's an interesting idea.
Or if she was always the mother. The way Krellian spoke, he said, "You're in a younger form this time."
Younger
or
body.
Something of that. Yeah. And the mother was like, well, the other one got too old.
Right.
It makes me think that the mother, in the same way that the anti-type and the contact kind of transmigrate, that the mother consciously can move from one form to another as long as it's compatible.
Also, I just want to note, Veltal 2 is in hyper mode without system id. This is one of the only fights where I've ever had that happen because of the way you have to fight this boss.
Interesting.
Anyway.
So, I have strong belief that the consciousness that is mother can just move from body to body as long as it's a compatible form. And I'm sure there's other like components to that.
Right.
But the way that Karen spoke with Krellian makes me think that Faye had already been born when she took over Karen's body.
Yeah, that's correct.
So I find that really interesting.
Yeah,
and then
it certainly begs a question, doesn't it?
Right. Well, then something must have happened to Karen for her to take over Myong. And
Karen to take... You mean Karen from Myong to take her over?
Something must have happened to Karen from the mother to take over Myong, if that's how that works.
Oh, I see. Understood.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder, was Myong always the mother from the beginning of this particular game? Or did she become the mother sometime throughout the game? I don't know. Because she had a purpose. She had goals. She was clearly manipulating Ramses for a specific purpose. And
that is certainly true.
Were those purposes just thrown out the window when the mother took over? And like she could, I don't know. There are some weird interactions and things that are expressed at the beginning that I feel like would be peculiar to experience.
This is gonna hurt.
If it was the mother the whole time. Maybe not.
Not too bad. So, I'm sorry. Can you restate that? I was a little focused on the battle there.
Yeah, well, I was saying it kind of weird, awkwardly, too. Basically...
Oh, hey, I'm going to use this real quick. Thor wave.
Nice. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I kind of feel like the Myong we meet at the beginning of the game is very different from the Myong we're seeing now.
What do you mean by the beginning of the game?
So when we first meet Myong with Ramses, there's a personality there.
There we go.
That I don't know. It doesn't. There's some. I can't put my finger on it, but it feels like they're a little different from each other than how she is right now.
Oh, okay. Are you saying that she has changed over the course of the game? Myong has?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know. I couldn't tell you like where that change happened, or if it's just been a gradual thing.
Well,
like again, it depends on if she's been the mother from the beginning.
Hold on to that.
Not.
Yeah, hold on to that thought here for the next couple of scenes. We've got some things to talk about here in a moment.
Of course we do. My, aren't we powerful?
All right, so that's the end of Opiomorph. And you want the trader card equipped to get the unique drop, the executor gown. I think that's a female-only armor.
Probably.
You do have a chance of getting it without the card, of course, but it makes it a guarantee.
Gotcha. Well then, let's start over from the beginning again. You think you can beat me this time?
She's too much for us.
What the? I thought I defeated you. Unless you can decompose her atomic structure. Oof, that was a mouthful. You don't stand much of a chance. Normal attacks are futile against one who has the ability to regenerate. Using nanomachines. Alright.
So Opiomorph has been upgraded with Krellian's nanomachines.
Gotcha. Oh, and that's how the other two kept getting up too.
Yes.
Now, the time has come for the Great Awakening.
That also implies that whatever Ellie did in El Regulus disassembled them at the atomic level, which is absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because one... Yep, you're right.
She just incinerated them.
Big grief.
Yep.
What the... My body, it feels like it's being torn apart. It is our Omnigears? It's pulling me in. Ellie's gone. Damn, what's going on? Huh? Hey, is that? Oh, it's the others. Our Omni? No, that's not it.
That's Envari, Vinmer, Rinmazuo, and Steer.
Right. Is that our anima relics?
Yeah, so it's showing the 4 anima relics we have.
Right. Is it trying to detach the anima relics from our Omnigears? Okay. Reminder, we're going to have to talk about what happened here because of all the flashing and stuff.
Yep.
Just making a verbal note here. Deus is swallowing up our anima relics. That makes sense. What's going on? My Omnigear won't move? It's like it's dead. Lost its heart, did it?
Mm-hmm.
This is the true of the meaning of the anima relics. To attain their respective animus and return to the persona. The anima relics are really one set of parts that make up Deus, the physical manifestation of God.
So just to explain real quickly for anyone that had to skip through that flashing scene, the Omnigears appeared to move downward into Deus. The anima relics were absorbed.
So anima relics gotta mix with animus and then be absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
By the persona, which is...
By persona, that's right.
Which is Ellie. All right. They regain their original powers or functions by aligning themselves with their destined partner. An Omnigear that has lost its respective anima relic is but a puppet. It becomes a mere vessel or container in which there are no contents. And this girl, too, was destined to become one with God. You see, Elheim is really one of the parts of God as well. What the hell are you talking about?
Such a good question.
I feel like Faye must be... and unintentionally, we're channeling each other, because, like, that's... he says things in the same manner that I would ask the question.
Yeah.
Put simply, you served to help bring all the parts of God together. Here, for me. Thanks. You're a bunch of stupid fools. It's as if you're all clowns. You believe the legend of how our world and universe was created. But the Ministry and I fabricated that very myth a long time ago to suit our purposes. That's a lie. How can that be true? Faye. My brother. Satan already established the Ministry was 10,000 years old.
Yeah.
How do you think it happened? I think you'll find that your friends' Omnigears are all dead too. I'm talking about your friends who split up and took a different path than you into this place. They were all parts of God that were disassembled in the past. But once again, all are all together here. We've gathered the 3 forces of the Triforce. Anyway. Yes, it is indeed the time for the resurrection of God. What was it all for? Everything that I've done up until now. Oh, hey, Ellie. Oh, Ramses?
Ramses is here.
It's just you. What are you doing here, Carr? What about me? Or what about me? What about me? My existence. What was its purpose? There was only one purpose to your existence: to eliminate Emperor Cain. Cain's will had become too much like that of humans. He was too concerned about them. He had forgotten his mission to revive God. That is why you were created. You were only made to remove our main hindrance, Cain. But, as the original living being, Cain had absolute power. To make you turn on Cain, it was necessary to focus your mind on a single point. However, being an artificial life form, you were mentally unstable. That is why we used phase existence, resentment. That is the source of your strength. And you have excelled superbly at fulfilling our expectations of you. But we no longer have any more use for you. Haven't you realized that yet? You're a piece of trash, and being the reject that you are, why don't you just leave? What was I born for? What was I living for? A pathetic excuse for a life. Why, you aren't even human. Now, what to do with the lot of you? Well, I can just kill you all, seeing as you have served me so well. So, as a reward, I'll allow you to be sacrificed too, to be assimilated into Deus along with this girl. Ramses! Oh, dang.
Mm-hmm.
Good. This is how I wanted it, Car. I am fated so as not to be able to kill myself. Now, all my wishes have come true. Thanks to you. Young. Oh, dang, Ramses.
He's so angry.
You know, I don't blame him. What an unceremonious end to Krellian. Good gracious.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how I thought that was going to go. Too bad we missed the action. Our Omnigears gave out on the way here. Anyways, let's hurry up and save Ellie. Yeah, I know. Hang in there, Ellie. I'm letting you down now. Wow, that was impressive. One-handed and all.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what just happened?
A gunshot.
Jesse.
Nope.
No. Okay. Oh.
Just when you think it's going well.
Her hair changed to purple.
It did.
Her eyes changed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and feel like it's pretty safe to say that the mother that was in Myong has taken over Ellie.
Yes.
Which is why her hair is purple.
Her hair changed color. Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Ah! Faye. Now, you hang in there. She took my gun? Why did you do that, Ellie? Ellie, what happened to you? How could you? Don't tell me she's been brainwashed. Worse. What the heck? Oh, right, because regeneration.
Nanomachines.
Oh, of course.
Now, Miang is actually dead, but Krellian is not.
Right.
But
That's
Miang
probably how he's been able to live as long as he has.
Miang being dead is obviously sort of. She's sort of dead because now Ellie is Miang. So, yeah.
Right. It has nothing to do with brainwashing. Just stands up like...
Whatever.
All right. The majority of my body is comprised of a nanomachine colony. I learned that from Emeralda, thank you. Not only for longevity, but also to unify with the mother. So don't be surprised. This much damage can be recovered rather quickly. Unify with the mother. That girl, Elheim, is our mother. Well, she is now. Yes, I am the mother of all humans. Ellie? What are you babbling on about? Snap out of it, Ellie. Oh, Bart. Sometimes you're a little dense. You're as dense as usual, but I don't blame you. So be it. I will explain to you all about it.
Time for exposition.
Exposition chair. The conversation. This Deus, the one you call God, is an interplanetary invasion weapon system that was built in ancient times by humans from another planet. This we have learned so far.
Mm-hmm.
It was created as an automatic weapon which could act upon its own will to take control of a target planet. But you should have known this much from looking at the Razio records.
Exactly.
Anyway, during a test run, Deus became uncontrollable. It released its power and annihilated a whole planet. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
The creators of Deus found it immeasurable power to be too much of a threat, and hence forcibly shut it down. In order to analyze the cause of the problem, its core was dismantled and placed on an interplanetary immigrant passenger ship to be transported to another planet. So, the disassembled being the anima relics and the Zohar, like all those pieces being separated?
Right. Yeah, all the pieces were taken apart, and they were all separate when it was placed on the Eldritch. So what we were seeing in the intro was the pieces reactivating and coming back together, basically.
Interesting.
To try to take over the ship, which is what she's explaining now.
Right. Becoming aware of this, the disassembled Deus resisted. It tried to take over the passenger ship that was transporting it. However, as a last line of defense against the escape of Deus, its creators unexpectedly destroyed the whole ship, sending it crashing to this planet. Deus knew that it would not be able to get away from the explosion or the imminent impact, and so it detached its core from the Zohar power reactor. Zohar? Don't mind me, I'm just bleeding out. Yes, Zohar. It is what drives all of the gears on this planet. Oh.
Yep.
It is the master generator that transmits its energy to slave generators in our gears.
Yeah, so every gear has a slave generator in it, including Omni gears. So all of that power that actually causes those gears to move comes from the Zohar.
Huh. It is also the source of all the ether power that the inhabitants of this planet utilize.
Yeah, so the Zohar also allows people to use ether, magic, key power, any of our fantastical abilities is sourced from the Zohar.
Oh, so ether's not even natural to this planet. It's literally the Zohar pushing out energy that humans somehow are capable of utilizing.
Now, I believe that maybe Choo-Choo is an exception. I'm not sure about that. But yes, any human using ether power is channeling the Zohar.
Wow, that is wild. All right.
Mm-hmm.
By utilizing the energy displacements caused by actualizing potential future phenomena, this Zohar modifier has the ability to produce infinite amounts of energy.
Okay. So a little bit about that. It's talking about potential phenomena. To put it in terms of quantum mechanics, there's an idea of potentiality where a wave function in a superposition of potential values, which means before it's measured, has the potential to collapse into one of those values. And that'd be from the Copenhagen interpretation. It's a quantitative version of the old concept of potentia in Aristotelian philosophy, according to the German physicist Werner Heisenberg. So, as you might be able to tell, quantum mechanics is not exactly one of my areas of expertise, but some of that was kind of parroting off what I've looked up here. But essentially, the way they use it in this game is there are an infinite number of possibilities in any given situation, and so using those potentials and the energy from them, it's able to basically perform miraculous things and manifest infinite energy.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yep. It's really cool. I really like the Zohar, and anybody that's played Xenosaga will kind of recognize that as well, but it started here.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The source of all our ether power? Are you saying all our energy comes from that one power reactor or engine? Yes, but there is more. The core that was detached from Zohar, the biological computer, Kadamini,
Yeah.
crashed onto this primitive planet.
So, Kadamini.
I'm good with words.
Yeah, Kadamini is a hard word. I've heard it pronounced Katamoni as well. I like Kadamini more. But is named after Adam Kadmon, the primal human in Gnosticism, I believe. And yeah, I've got a little bit more on that we can talk about in a little bit, but it's basically a biological supercomputer that manages the Deus system. It was detached from the Zohar, according to what she's saying here. So it was actually installed in the eye of the Zohar. And we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. But yeah, it's a supercomputer when she's talking about Kadamini here.
Inactivated Persona. Its life support plant that can generate organic materia. Using this, it prepared for itself a genetic-based system for the day when Deus would be resurrected. Thus, the first humans were created from there, Emperor Cain and the elders of the Gazel Ministry. Mm-hmm. Are you saying that the Emperor and the Gazel Geezers were born from Deus? Do you know why the Gazel Ministry desired the anima relics in your bodies? Well, here's the reason. Before becoming human, the bodies of the Ministry were once part of the organic elements in the core circuit that made up Deus. They were two types of organic elements. The female type was called anima, while the male type was called animus. They were also created with the added ability to become mobile weapons by merging with machinery that was suited for use as terminal interface weapons for Deus. In other words, those Omni-Gears you were using were one form of such weapons.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily that the gears themselves were, but the relics and anything they were aligned with, as well as the animus, were pieces of the Deus system. Also, while we're talking about this, I do also want to mention Yabe was talked about some in the last episode, and I mentioned that it's pretty much the same as Deus. You should take them as synonymous. So when we're talking about Deus, we're talking about the whole system. It is the same thing as Yabe, just to clarify that. And a little bit of history on that. Yabe, you might recognize Sounds a little bit like Yahweh, the name of God in Christianity and Gnosticism to a certain point. And so there was some concern that it would be seen as blasphemous to name this antagonistic force, this super weapon, after, say, the Christian God. And so one of the things that was mentioned in Japanese was, I believe it was something akin to, it's going to be not good or something like that. And they used the term yabe, which has a different meaning in Japanese. And so yabe is kind of a pun on that. On what they were originally going to call it, and just kind of the silly conversation they were having, where they were deciding, yeah, let's rename this. So one of those references ended up in the game, possibly on purpose, because Honeywood was part of that conversation. So, it may have just been left in, but not spelled Yahweh, obviously. I do have a little bit more to say about the Yahweh name, so hang on that one. But yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny.
So also, before we move on,
yep,
she basically said that all humans on this planet were created from the Deus system.
Yes,
as a means to repair itself.
Essentially, yeah, it activated a genetic-based system to repair itself.
Okay. So does that mean the humans that were originally on the ship, none of them survived?
Trying to decide if I should answer that question.
Okay, well, if it's answered later, then
let's give that one a minute. Let's table that question for a moment. Essentially, the answer is no. All humans were created on this planet by the Katamani system and Persona.
Right, but the ship initially had humans on it.
Yes.
So,
and they none of them survived the crash, pretty much.
Well, that's what I was asking, is like, so none of them escaped from the system reactivating or the crash.
It's not 100% true, but pretty much none of them escaped from the crash. All humans were created by the system.
Yeah. For our purposes then.
Yes, for our purposes. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little more complicated than that. We'll get to that, I promise.
Yeah, and so with Cain being the first, I guess his genetic structure was so much stronger because of how fresh, I don't know, whatever.
Something anyway, like that. He was the first human, essentially. Yeah. And so with that, he has a certain measure of power. I take it as because of what was creating him. And there's a measure of, there's ether power. There's all of the slave generators and gears. It's not supernatural necessarily, but there is a very, very power-based element to what it's doing. And so Cain just has this huge measure of power to him, and it's also one of the reasons he lived so long. He did have life extension treatments, but he's also just absurdly powerful, or was.
Right.
Yep.
Interesting. The Ministry, which were Animus, were to become one again with their separate anima at the time of the resurrection of God. But in a war 500 years ago, they all lost their physical bodies. It was then that they decided to extract their own genetic factor from certain individuals of their human descendants who carried the appropriate sets of DNA. I think that was in my notes too.
Yes, it was.
Also, each of them could become one with their respective anima again. Descendants? Then we're all? Yes, you humans are all descendants of the Cain and the Gazla Ministry. They were born from the Persona, gave birth and propagated. They followed their inbuilt program to someday resurrect the heavily damaged Deus. All the people in the world were created solely to resurrect Deus. Yes, but it wasn't just to restore its old body. More than half of Deus is constructed of biological parts. Do you remember those mutated humans? Those are all the people who were destined to become replacement parts for Deus. We humans are parts for God? Quite literally machine replacements.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, almost all the people are destined to become parts for Deus. But you people gathered here are all different. You could say you escaped that destiny by existing through multiple generations. In actuality, there wasn't enough parts for Deus, but Krelian compensated for what was lacking. The reduction in the number of parts was due to humans living through multiple generations. But that deficiency in the human factor was made up for by the nanomachines created by Krelian. Not only that, but his nanomachines added additional functions. Deus has thus evolved into the perfect weapon. Ellie, what has happened? Why do you know all that? I am Myang, the Keeper of Time, the representative of our god, Deus. I was born to guide the people toward the path of the resurrection of Deus. That's ridiculous. Myang was just... You're limited in your ability to understand. Myang's factor exists within all women. The one who transcends the generations, the caretaker of humans. When the previous one dies, somewhere another Myang is awakened. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
It is programmed into all women's DNA to be that way.
So there have been countless Myangs. I shouldn't say countless, actually. The Myang we've been dealing with throughout most of this game was Myang 998. So Ellie has become Myang 999. I believe there was a 0, which means Ellie is the 1000th iteration of Myang at this point.
Huh. Okay.
Something else I wanted to mention. Oh, right. So this is as good a time as any just to clarify. Myang was also never an element at Jugend. She was part of the whole thing with Ramses and everything. But she wasn't actually an element. There are only 4. The 4 previous were Jesse, Seitan, Sigurd, and... Wow, why am I blanking on the... Oh, and Ramses, of course. So they were the previous 4 elements before Dominia's group. The Neo elements, if you will.
Right.
So just wanted to clarify that while we're learning about Myang a little bit. I did find the elemental assignment very interesting, but Myang is technically a very different being than, the elements group.
Right. Who inherits the duty is just a matter of probability, Faye. That Myang over there and I are the same existence. We are all parts of Deus, all caretakers of humans. That can't be entirely true though, right? Because certain genetic structures were being searched for.
What's that?
She's saying that every woman is the potential to be mother.
Oh, okay. I understand your confusion. I think we're going to get to that, but there are 2 different things at work here. Myang is one of those things, and Ellie and the antitype is another one of those things.
Okay.
They're different. They're different, sort of. They're different but related. Anyway, we will get to that, I promise.
Okay. It just...
Your confusion is understandable.
Well, it just seems like they were actively looking for the mother, so unless Myang was just keeping herself hidden from them, which I suppose is possible.
Yeah, it's not quite that clear cut. I believe so. Myang, at the very least, like Krelian knew who she was, what her purpose was, and all of that fun stuff.
Right.
So I don't think that doesn't really hold water, and we have to learn a little bit more about Myang because there is more to come here.
Right. Let us end this discussion now. Deus is awakened. I am one of the parts that composes Deus, hence I must become one with it. Ellie, why did it have to be you? If Myang is a part for Deus, why did it not happen earlier? It's still not enough for her to just have awakened. Although she may be Myang, she still isn't the true Myang. The true Myang? Let's go, Krelian. All that is left to do is to vanquish this planet's civilization and return it to how it was. Oh, okay. Just create a catastrophic event. Got it.
Yeah, they just want to destroy everything.
Let's just eat the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can complete my unification with the final fragment of Deus, the Zohar modifier. The power reactor that fell upon this planet and became our genesis, and now our apocalypse. The eradication of civilization? What is the purpose of doing that? Who knows? The creations of God will someday be a hindrance. That is why they must be eliminated. I am just programmed to act in this way.
The weapon.
Right, because she is the voice of Deus.
Yes.
The avatar, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Come. It is time for the awakening of the true mother. Please, wait. Ellie? Oh yeah, of course. I forgot that Faye is still bleeding out.
Yep. Faye's not doing well.
No. Farewell, Faye. May you have a peaceful awakening. Giant ball. It's an eyeball.
Yeah. Gotta run around it in circles and it'll spin itself to death. Haha.
What is this, Mario 64?
It sure is. It's the prequel to Mario 64.
Oh, this would be such a rough prequel for that.
Yeah.
Ellie! Wait, Faye. Do not release the system. Titan, wait. We're only endangering ourselves. Let's get out of here for now.
Yeah, so
Was he
Faye...
saying not to release System ID?
Yeah, I believe so. Faye jumped in Veltal, so other gears are still functional. It's just the Omni gears are sort of disabled by losing their anima relics.
Hello, flying saucer.
Yup. Merkava.
Oh, hey, that was the thing in Krellian's lab.
Yep.
Haha.
Little cutaway of it. Oh, yes.
Boy, that's a lot to unpack. Titan is the only party member? Oh, no.
Currently, Titan is the only party member, yes. Because Faye just jumped in after Deus and Krellian and Ellie/Myong, so... Let's go!
It's a little nice that Titan is also at the point where he's just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, he's no longer, like, all-knowing anymore. He's just like, what are we talking about?
Oh, now he's in the chair.
Yep, welcome to Exposition Chair Titan edition here. God, the interplanetary invasion weapon Deus had awakened, and its arc, Merkava, was activated. Deus began to absorb, one after the other, the mutated people, destined to be its parts, while the non-mutated would eventually only become a threat to it. To exterminate us and our civilization, it set into action.
Oh, those are the Malak angels.
That's right. The planet's surface was devastated by Merkava and the weapons born from out of it called the Seraph Angels. So, very similar, but they're called Seraph Angels now with this new version, basically, of Deus.
Right. It's Malak Angels 2.0.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
a lot of them, too.
Yeah, there's a massive amount of them.
I can almost see it visually, how it's supposed to look.
Mm-hmm. While pursuing the newly awakened Deus, we chanced upon Faye, whose whereabouts had hitherto been lost, along with his gear, Veltal, discovered together at the place where Merkava was originally located. We were overjoyed by Faye's return, but it was short-lived. For some unknown reason, Faye was found in a state of suspended animation. He did not regain consciousness.
Oh.
The people of Shivat and we ourselves feared a relapse of Faye's, no, id's power, and had no choice but to put Faye into carbonite freeze.
Thus turning him into an anima relic. I mean... I sometimes wonder what the significance of the pendant is.
Mm-hmm.
Your Majesty, why do the people of Shavat fear Faye so much? Even if Graf and Id's power are comparable. Oh yeah, where's Graf all this time?
Good question.
It is not that we fear him. We fear the error we ourselves committed. And now we are simply trying to put a lid on it. The error that you yourselves committed? Shavat instigated a battle 500 years ago to gain our independence from Solaris. However, we became overcome with the lust for power. Fearing the war-torn peoples would no longer be with Shavat, but with the Nisan Mother, and that the people would assemble under Sophia. The Council of Elders of Shavat back then made a deal with Solaris. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
A deal? Yes. At the time, Solaris, or the Gazel Ministry to be exact, were at odds with the woman who held the real power behind the scenes.
Presumably that's Myong.
Right. Would that happen to have been Myong? Most probably it was.
Fearing the increasing power of the masses assembling in Nisan, the Gazel Ministry schemed to hand over to us their antagonist, Myong, and promised a division of the rulership over the Earth's surface. But in exchange, we had to give them the rebel army that had assembled in Nisan, and also their patron, Sophia.
The leaders of Shavat accepted, and it was decided that Nisan would be the location of the final decisive battle with Solaris. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder you felt the need to atone.
Yep, they were...
You're
very
terrible.
Very guilty. Yeah, very... It's pretty horrible what they did.
Oh. Shavat did not participate in that battle. Thwarted by the awesome number of the Solarian army, and with their path of retreat cut off, the Nisan rebel army ran out of options and was destroyed. Thwarting my plans? Caught up in the middle of all this was the Khan, Bart's ancestor, Rani, myself, and Relian. You were also there. Yes, surrounded on all sides, we were prepared to die. And then, the rebel forces' flagship appeared with Sophia on board. She sacrificed herself so as to create a path for our retreat. Sophia's ship headed straight for the enemy's main ship on a suicide attack. Oh, there's the crest.
Mm-hmm. Just ramming speed right into it.
Wow. Thanks to Sophia's sacrifice, we were able to survive. However, her death forever changed the fate of two men.
Krelian,
Really?
who followed closely under her as the leader of the Nisan sect's militia, completely lost faith after calling out to a god that would not respond. "I will create God with my own hands," were the last words he uttered before he disappeared. And Lacan, He resented himself for not having the power to do anything while she died in front of him. So he began to search for the legendary power.
Do you want the power?
Exactly.
Legendary power? God's resting place, Mahanan, the source of divine wisdom, Raziel, and the anima relics, which were created by that very wisdom. Besides these, there is one more legend. And that is Zohar. Zohar? That was the same name as the Zohar modifier. Endless power.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do you want the power? Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, actually, if you found a way to harness the Zohar.
Mm-hmm.
The power reactor that Myung spoke of, saying it was the infinite energy source of God, Deus. What she claimed is also the source of our ether powers and the driving force of all our gears. That is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been the one and the same thing. It is the place that contains the ultimate source of this world's power. It is said that only he who has the correct destiny would be able to discover its location. Losing all faith in humanity, Lucan sought after its power. Lucan became Groth, and the world collapsed. This tragedy happened because of the people's lust for power. I must take part of the responsibility for not having been able to stop it. And now Faye, the one who has the same power as Graf. We just wanted to seal up that dreadful power that arose from our own sinful deeds. That's not how you fix the problem. That's just shoving it into a closet.
Yeah, pretty much. Just hopes it goes away. But Graf is still running around doing stuff.
Can't just sweep that under the rug and pretend like it's fine.
That's right. Graf, the man once known as Lacan, sought after the power of Zohar, the one who has the same power as Graf, Faye. I had this premonition that Faye too would awaken and seek out that power, and that presentiment became a reality. Presentiment?
I think presentiment.
Presentiment?
Is probably correct, because it's...
almost like a premonition.
Right. Well, it's a variant of prescience.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I think presentiment is a good way of saying it. Does that mean like the restraining wristband is just going to snap and Id's going to show up again?
It could mean that. It does seem to be a similar existence to Graf. So if Seitan is stating that he feels like Faye is going to take that same route, then that would stand to reason.
Right.
He's frozen in carbonite right now, though.
Not for long. He just moved.
Wow, that was the camera.
No, he moved. I saw it.
I mean, he actually moved. Here we go.
Where am I? Who am I? That noise.
Mm-hmm.
This is my memory?
Also, I just want to call out this song. This is one of my favorites on the soundtrack. I believe the title of it is The One Who Is Torn Apart. It's generally Id's theme. It shows up whenever he is about, even when he's being discussed. So the first time was when Faye and Seitan, way back then, were captured on that sand cruiser, and Faye was feeling something odd inside himself, and they were discussing things. Id's theme was playing.
Wow. Doc. Bart. Rico. Billy. Wiseman. Who is he? Groff. Everyone. My memories. Ellie?
So I want to call out one thing real quick. This is a very good time to do it. There is a reference in Final Fantasy VII to Xenogears, and we'll put up a screenshot or two on the screen. I just want to read. There is a point where Cloud is kind of in rough shape mentally, and he's, not able to fight or anything. I believe he was subjected to Mako poisoning during this portion of the game of FF7. The words he uses are taken, angels, singing voices, Xenogears. The reason I call it out now is because there is a point in Final Fantasy VII that looks a lot like this, where there are a bunch of copies of Cloud, and Tifa is attempting to help him kind of recover himself mentally.
Mm.
And it looks very, very similar to this. And it's sort of similar. It's one of the reasons why FF7 and Xenogears are sort of similar. So yeah, we'll put up a shot of that little scene as well, with just the clouds kind of hanging out, or at least of the scene itself.
Right. Wasn't the original dialogue like Xenogears or something like that?
Yes. Yeah, we could put that up too. There was an original dialogue, and it wasn't fully translated, so it was Xenogais, Xenogais.
Okay.
I don't know if that was purposeful, but if you get kind of the like HD, I don't know if it's HD, but like the remastered version on PC of FF7, they've corrected the translation and it says Xenogears instead.
Gotcha.
That was the intention. So they, it's not that they're in the same world or anything, but they just have little references to each other that I think is really cool.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely some overlapping themes.
Mm-hmm.
Mother?
Ah, it's getting closer.
Oh no, it's gonna hit us. Sora. Who are you? I'm surprised. That's pretty clever. You are id?
It is here.
I misjudged you. I didn't expect you to fake personality would create a fourth persona. I'm sorry, what?
There's a fourth Fae.
Oh, because that's the coward there, right?
No.
Currently?
In the spotlight?
Yeah.
No. That's Faye's, the one we know as Faye.
Okay.
The spotlight is a fourth persona, and then the shorter one with the hair is id. So
right.
The coward is not in this scene.
Okay. Fourth persona? He can't feel anything. He's shut up inside your ego. Depressing facts and truth you won't face. You're afraid of them, so you desire to completely shut yourself off from the outside world. And so you formed a fourth persona, a fourth Fae. The name doesn't matter. He's the one on the stage. He's the one who's in control of your body.
Which is why he's doing nothing. Why he was in a catatonic state when they found him, because he formed a fourth personality that shut off everything.
Huh. But it is a useless form of resistance. Come with me. Are we not going to address the fact that his gunshot never got addressed? Okay, whatever. Wait, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm assuming he just kind of got healed by whatever happened. It's never really addressed. I believe in his attempt to deal with things, like he shrugged it off somehow, because Faye has weird, crazy powers that will, we'll talk more about that here shortly.
He has the key. I merely want to borrow it. I've got to go somewhere. Oh, okay, bye. Are you coming too?
Yeah. Here we go.
Wow.
Finally, we get to see Roni Fatima.
Oh, so that's what Bart would look like with two eyes.
Uh-huh.
Come on, guys, eat up. You're gonna have to deal with the same voices, because that's how I think it should be.
I agree.
You haven't been able to get this kind of food around here lately, have you? Well, this is also due to my business savvy. Who's this guy?
Yeah, I actually
Renee?
looked that up. I believe that is Ronnie's brother. Doesn't look a lot like him, but still has kind of the Jasper, you know, the eye color.
Right. What's wrong, Lacan? You look kind of down. What's bothering you? Are you worried about something? It's nothing. I'm just thinking about painting Sophia. I don't know why I agreed to do her portrait. Sophia? You mean your childhood friend who knows the Holy Mother of who's now the Holy Mother of Nissan? Oh. She's not really a childhood friend. I just made her acquaintance at the monastery near my home when I was a child. Thus becoming friends during your childhood?
Yeah, Lacan has a interesting personality.
She went to the clinic there for convalescence. She was frail. So, what are you worried about painting her for? She does not wish herself to become a symbol of her sect. Actually, it seems she wasn't interested in having her portrait painted at first. But when she heard I would be the painter, she turned around and agreed. That's what I don't understand.
She likes you.
I know, right? I see. Then she must like you. What are you talking about? That's how women are, right, Krillian? Hey, Krill. Huh? What's up? You're not having any? It's ready to eat. Ah, yes. Holy Mother Nissan, huh? What are you out to... What, are you out to offend divine providence or something, Lacan? Cut it out. It's not like that. Sure, buddy. What? You gotta lighten up a little. Sophia first showed me the books are the best way to calm the heart.
I personally headcanon it that in all of his lifetimes, Faye/Lacan has somebody kind of like Bart being like, dude, lighten up.
He must.
Kind of a right hand.
Right. And now I'm hooked on reading. I'm not trying to brag, but I've learned a lot of things I never knew before. Lately, I've been reading this. What is it? Something I borrowed from Melchior. It's but a form of molecular engineering, nanotechnology. I believe it's a book found in the ancient ruins of the Zabo civilization. It's a copy of someone's research report, but it's incomplete. I think there are even more wonderful things written in it, but we'll never know now.
So there's a layer of irony here. I am pretty sure that research report might be Kim's. So you're welcome, previous incarnation of Lacan, for giving Krellian the nanotech information.
Oh, yes.
Or at least starting him on that path, I suppose.
Right. What's wrong? You don't look so good. Lately, you seem melancholy almost every day. Has something happened? I don't know. I just can't paint right now. Sorry, but do you mind if we stop here for today? I see. It is not good to push yourself too hard. Why don't you rest up for a little while? I'll have Krillian take you. Take you out. Even so, there was a time when I did some pretty vicious things. I lashed out at random. Everyone around me feared me. Even my friends. I lived a life surrounded by people who looked at me with fear in their eyes. But she was the only one who wasn't afraid of me. She would just smile. Peace of mind. She was the one who taught me that was and how I could receive it. What that was and how I could receive it. She taught me how to live as a human. What are you doing, Lacan? Oh, it's you, Krelian. I was thinking I'd stop painting the portrait. Why stop now? It's the circumstances. I shouldn't be painting her at a time like this. Eventually, she too must stand at the front lines, so... Is that really the problem? Lacan? Her smile. It's killing me. The more she smiles at me, the more I feel my very being become insignificant.
Yeah, this is a pretty important line. He feels himself becoming insignificant. Lacan is feeling alienated from himself.
Inside my heart, there is this empty existence. Other than painting, I have no worth. Yet she continues to accept my presence. I feel like I'm getting smaller and smaller. I didn't have this feeling in the beginning. I just wanted to paint her one more minute, one more second longer. I wanted to keep on painting forever. But suddenly I couldn't. As the picture neared completion, the empty part of me started to manifest itself in my brushstrokes. I was meant to be painting her as she really is, but this picture is my own self.
He sees himself reflected in his painting.
My empty self has begun to appear within there. That's why I've got to stop now.
If you recall, when we first saw this painting, Seitan made an observation of a type of sadness and melancholy to the kind of tone and the overall presentation of the painting.
Yeah. It's hard not to reflect yourself in your own artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Your own self. You're just running away. You can't bear it when she smiles at you. By painting her portrait, you notice the gap between your own inner emptiness and her inner abundance.
Being brutal there, Krelian.
And you cannot fill that gap. That's why you're quitting your painting. You're refusing her. Even so, you still can't bring yourself to leave her, can you? In spite of that, why is it that she continues to smile at you? You who can't accept her feelings. You who won't accept her feelings. Tell me why. If it was me who was receiving such feelings.
Jealousy.
You're neglecting yourself too much. Why aren't you kinder to yourself, mistress? Is this really her true expression? Yeah, to people who don't know her that well, I guess. Her smile, I don't know. The smile in this picture is somehow different from the one she usually shows us. I realize Lacan's feelings are in there, but I don't think she was ever opened herself up and showed her inner self to others like this before. You've been painting such a beautiful expression of Sophia. I just can't see the reason why you'd want to stop. Brother. Beautiful? Forget it. This picture? It's anything but beautiful. Well, agree to disagree there, buddy. Lacan, you say you're empty. Then why do you come along with us? What we've been doing up till now are not just acts of mercy. It's a flight for freedom. Time and again, you've been through life-threatening situations with us. A man who's nothing in his heart couldn't do that kind of thing, right? Ronnie, you're giving me too much credit. As long as you do something to keep yourself occupied, you can ignore the hollowness inside. From the beginning, my very existence itself was an emptiness. It wouldn't matter if I were to die right now. You live, you die. That's all. Pessimistic as usual, Lacan, and now you're lying. It's just that you're not good at expressing your own feelings. You're not empty. She knows that. That's why she shows you her true smile. She shows only you her true smile.
Words are hard.
Oh, I'm not even that tired. It's not like our normal, really late nights. I don't deserve to see her true smile. I'm not worthy. She's the hope of the people, their support. There's so much more for her to do.
Kind of reflected in when Faye was telling Ellie not to come fight with them, that she has much more to do, that sort of thing.
Right. Why would she open her heart to a mere artist like me? Bro! Hey, bro. What you doing here? What's up? The Council of Elders of Shavat issued a decision. Tomorrow we will leave for Soylent. That's terrible. Soylent? That's in Solaris. Yes, and Sophia will be coming with us. That's ridiculous. The refugees are still increasing. We can't afford to have Sophia leave Nasan. And going to Soylent, that plan's foolish. It's too dangerous. What are the elders thinking? No, it wasn't the council's wish. It was Sophia's will. It appears that she expressed this desire herself. That can't be. What is she thinking? Originally, we talked about it being just us. Just us? Sophia! Sophia! Lacan, what are you doing? You keep back. I knew we couldn't leave Sophia in your care. I'll protect her, even if it costs me my life. Why don't you go get some rest, Krell? You haven't slept since the day before yesterday, have you? You shouldn't do that to yourself. I'm fine. It's not a problem. Look, I'll watch over her, so you go sleep. What will we do if you also fall ill? Do not forget you're the head of the Sex military forces. Okay, I suppose you're right. Ellie, I'm so sorry. It was my misjudgment that did this to you. I was terrified. It's like you could see right through me. Your eyes. That look. That was me. That was being reflected back in your eyes. I was looking at myself and thus painting myself. I couldn't stand it. So that's why. Oh, Ellie. What in the heavens did you find inside of me? When you wake up, I think I will ask you that. On second thought, no. No, I don't want to burden you with my concerns. Besides, I wouldn't be able to ask you. One look into your eyes and I can't say a thing. I wouldn't even be able to tell you how I feel. You are the sweetest person. Ellie! You are someone who cannot bear to see others hurt by your own actions. So you hold everything in and bear all the burden. If you get hurt in the end, you think that is fine. That's what I like about you. Stop. Don't say that. If you become just another human, everyone will. Humans aren't all that frail, you know. They don't need a symbol whose just appearances only. I believe that if you have light in your heart, you can overcome any hardship. What I've been doing is simply showing people that such light exists in the hearts of everyone. I'm just a woman. And to fulfill my womanhood, I am prepared to throw away anything, even in this position. I'm just playing the role of Sophia, but I am still me. I haven't changed. A cowardly, selfish crybaby. I'm still the same. Could you live a lie like that and still be happy? I don't want to do that. Oh, Lacan, I want to live more honestly with myself. To be able to tell the man that I love that I do love him, and I don't care if I get hurt or rejected. You only have one life. I don't want to turn around later and regret not having done such things. Ironically, you've got more than one. I...
Angry Krellian outside the door.
Right. Jealous much?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I'll let it end here? We are not their possessions. That's the ship Nassan had.
Mm-hmm.
Sophia, what are you doing? I'm ending this. You won't need to fight anymore. So, Krellian, please open your fist, and with your open hand, gently hold the people who will continue to live. We still haven't seen the Diablo's catastrophe. This is just something separate, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Oh, man. Don't be foolish. We'll help you escape, so please stop. Thank you, Lacan. But, sorry, there's no other way. Ellie! That's a problem. People support each other to live. It's what brings us happiness. To share that happiness, or so share that happiness. And please, Lacan, live. Hmm. Ellie! So tragic.
Mm-hmm.
We were sacrificed as pawns. In order to protect their own authority, Sophia was... Is this the ideal world we've been searching for? What have we been doing? Heading towards Sophia's ideals? Is this our salvation? This isn't fair. Sophia was sacrificed for those bastards. Sophia said, if you just have faith, the path to what you hope for will open. But look at reality. God didn't answer our prayers. Is that because we didn't have faith? Even if we didn't have faith, Sophia did. Why did she have to be sacrificed? Is God dead? Is he just not there? Maybe God never even existed to begin with. Faith in God. Do not look for it on the outside, for it is something one must build from within oneself. You know, Jesse said something similar to that too when he was talking to Billy.
He did, yeah.
I see. That's it. If God doesn't exist in our world, then I will create God with my own hands. Krellian. Sophia, please guide me. I will destroy all such false pretenses of love for you.
This is when Krellian breaks and he starts to become the twisted person we know him as.
Right. We need to gather all our surviving comrades. We'll never beat them if we fight them individually. You know, it looks like they took Sigurd's hairstyle and then gave it the Bart blonde makeover.
Yep. Yeah, it's very, very similar to Sigurd's hair.
So let us create a country that can someday stand up against them.
That'd be Av.
Yep. What are you going to do, Lacan? I will snap. Still trying to finish that painting.
Never gets finished.
What you doing, Faye? Oh, Lacan. Same person. Ellie? What? What in the world?
Mm-hmm. It wasn't Ellie.
Okay. Why is she in a cell? If only you had power, you could have saved her.
Remember, they traded Myong for Sophia as part of their deal with Solaris. Shivat did.
Oh, that's right.
That's why she's here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. But that's not the Myong that we knew.
Correct. This is a previous incarnation of Myong.
Right. You want it, don't you? Unrivaled power? Don't you want to become the absolute being? So Myong's been pulling the strings of a lot of different people for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
There. That's what I've
Sought after.
thought after. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
But wait. That's not what I want. No. This is my very desire. Live. Live.
Live.
It's going live.
Guess who this is?
Oh, yeah.
Hint, we haven't seen him in a while.
Oh, is it Dan?
Yes.
Right, because they took refuge into Shavat.
In Shivat, yep.
I totally forgot about that.
Mhm.
So this is where Faye's being held? He deserves it. Let me prey on his weeping face as if it were an idol. As if I would. Yeah. What? What is this? This is terrible. No matter what, this is going way too far. He's still alive? How could you possibly be? You're a human too, aren't you? Darn. Faye. Oh, Faye. Crying. Huh?
Midori.
Midori, it's you. Phew, don't scare me like that. Crying? Who's crying? You mean our friend Faye is crying? Angry? Hurt? He'll wake up soon. It's calling him. What do you mean? Whoa! What the?
Run away!
You should
run
leave.
Away.
Ah! Stop! Stop it! Faye? Dan? Midori? Run! Hurry! Run away! Yikes!
Yikes.
Run.
He broke through his carbonite encasing. Id. Faye took his gear Veltal and went in search of Zohar. We followed Faye's trail. Eventually, we arrived at the location where Zohar had fallen to Earth so very long ago. Nothing could have prepared us for what we were about to see there. All right.
Oh, man.
Let's see what we're given.
Right.
Let's continue.
What is that?
Quite a long set of scenes, exposition on 500 years ago, before Diablo's catastrophe, of course.
Right. This must be the place. Yeah. Yeah, it's because Groff brought about the Diablo's catastrophe.
Right, and he didn't yet exist during that war. Wait for me!
This is as far as you can come. From here on, it's my world. You can't enter.
This is my world.
What do you mean? You're a subordinate, fake persona. That's why. A subordinate, fake persona? Yes. He is part of my memories from back then. He has sealed away the very meaning of my existence. My drive, my motivation, my subconscious, id. Because of that, I became a basic blank persona. And on top of that, I constructed a new persona based on my experiences since then. That is what you are now. Him? You mean father? You call him father? He who never did anything for you? It was because of his cowardly behavior. If only he had been able to protect me. If he had done that, Mother wouldn't have died. Didn't my mother die right after I was born? What really happened to my mother? Tell me, Id. You don't need to know. You'll only disappear soon. Along with your basic persona, the coward. I'll rule my being through the power of the existence.
Hmm?
What? Of course you don't know, but it is etched in my metapsychotic memory.
Yeah, metempsychotic memory. Let's take a moment on that. I want to make sure I describe that. So philosophically speaking, metempsychosis is the transmigration of the soul, especially in terms of reincarnation. So just want to make sure to cover that whole term because that's an important one.
So he's talking about not just Id's current memories, but also the contact's multi-generational memories at this point?
Right. Yes. Id has access to the metempsychotic memory, or possibly the coward does. But regardless, Faye does have that type of memory, intergenerational, one might term it.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
All those flashbacks with Lacan, those were Id sorting through those memories to try to figure out where Zohar is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your persona's fake, so you'll never stand on the stage of consciousness. You'll never be able to take charge of the memories from our past lives. I know the dreams and hallucinations. I've seen them many times. I showed them to you on purpose. To break the seal, I chose to weaken the power of your existence. If your mental energy is weakened, I can become free to do as I wish. What? There are still things inside you which haven't been shown yet. Huh? Someone's coming. It's probably your friends. They must have followed me. Where are you going? I came to reestablish contact with the existence. To tie together all the threads of your memories since ancient times, and then cut them off. That is the fate of the contact. All is ready. It's time for the true reawakening. I will eliminate all those who were full of hypocrisy from the beginning. Wait for me, Id. You just stay here and observe. Oof.
Yup.
The slow descent. What is this? Well, Veltal is going to look a little different after all this.
Just a bit.
Eh? This must mean this is Veltal's transformed appearance? A secondary transformed appearance?
Hmm.
It's a rebirth.
Something like that, yep. Hatching!
I'm finished. A big, beautiful butterfly.
It's crazy looking.
Oh boy.
Problems.
I don't think this is going to buff out.
But look what we have here. The Zohar.
Huh. It's so red.
Mm-hmm. It's been chilling in lava, basically.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
Well, right into it, huh?
Yep. So we have to deal with id here. All right. So, Emeralda's up first. Let's go ahead and just smack him. This is not a difficult battle. I do want to call attention, though. This is the only battle where Heimdall has access to hyper mode and uses a sword.
True.
So despite not having Omni Gears at the moment, there is no statistical difference even with hidden stats on gears. So like their attack adjustment rating, they all remain the same in this instance. So you're pretty much using Omni Gears as far as the stats go.
Gotcha.
Id's got some new abilities. I recall correctly, he does not have very much HP, so let's do some level 2s here.
They've brought up Faye's father again.
That's true.
We need more information about him before this game is up.
I agree. Yeah, it was specifically talking about their father with a lot of contempt.
Right.
Nice. Do some level 1s here.
This gear looks absolutely insane.
Yeah. Weird transfigured gear.
It kind of looks like if Ragnarok from Final Fantasy VIII was turned into a gear.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Especially with the big, like, jet ether coming out of his back.
Mm-hmm. Beat Serpent.
Drop the beat, Sabo.
Hey,
Hello?
Wiseman.
Oh, Wiseman. Are you okay? Still don't know what voice to give him. Good grief. Wiseman? It's already too late. Assist me, for I'm about to exterminate id. Huh? Zohar is Deus's core. The slave generators in ether is the source of all their energy. After attaining its power, the freshly awakened id intends to annihilate this world. The contact with Zohar was meant to have been done after the unifying Faye's true personality. Now, why would Wiseman know that?
Good question.
Huh? Keep back.
Because he's very wise.
You again? You always getting in my way. But I cannot be stopped by you. You who couldn't even protect his own wife and son. You cannot even bear to show your face to your son.
What?
That's why you wear a mask, isn't it, Khan? Son? That's right. This man is Faye's? No, I mean, my father, Khan Wong.
You've hit me with the truth. Ugh.
It's so painful. I had a feeling.
Yup.
Ooh, old man Khan.
Yeah.
What's happened to Faye, id?
You're talking about how we need more about Faye's father. Well, here he is.
Yeah. Too bad. The new personality of Faye that you've gave birth to, and all that work that your persona did to make him one perfect unified whole has been wasted. He will be swallowed up by me. I won't permit it. I will destroy you first. He kind of looks like Old Man Snake.
A little bit, yeah.
I think it's the headband specifically, and like the mustache.
Mm-hmm. The mustache.
Mustache. As if you could, sissy. Mother died because of your cowardly behavior. And as a result, he ran away from the reality by entering into his memories. And now I continue my existence bearing all that hatred. You wouldn't be able to imagine what it's like. I wasn't simply working to unify Faye's personality, you know? You know? All that you and I feel, the sadness, the hatred, even though he also experienced such things. Faye needed to be encouraged to build himself up in order to be able to comprehend all of this. Faye should be able to understand all of your feelings now. But now you want to erase the one who understands you? To kill Faye? What is it that you want? Why ask me such a thing now? My purpose is the same as his. Total destruction. That and that alone. Is this world so bad a place that there is only hatred inside of you? You're the ones who made me this way. You and that woman. Admit it. Oh, dang. Ah. Faye, can you hear me? Please take this fistful of memories I'm giving. Oh my god.
This fistful of memories. Love it.
Become one with yourself and with me. Faye, where did the real you go? Remember, were you not going to help Ellie? Smack, 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 smack.
So much smacking.
Yes, this is inside id. A world filled with hatred and sadness. That's all that's here. Yeah. Now I understand id. Why you hate the world. Why there is nothing inside you. Nothing. Nothing was given to you, deprived of. All the happy memories. And yet, it feels pleasant. It almost feels good. Now I get it. There's no need to resist.
It's an interesting thing how intoxicating like emotions like anger or hatred can actually be, and how they can end up feeling good if you are used to it enough.
Sure.
Faye is starting to understand like how he feels. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. I was originally just an existence that was created as a cover to hide id. So it would be better to return to that place. Let's come together to wipe away everything, including ourselves. Remember, were you not going to help Ellie?
Satan's words come through.
Yep. Ellie? That's right. Ellie!
Can't give up, Faye.
Drifting in the endlessness.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to save Ellie. What's this place? Ah, yes, this memory.
Mm-hmm.
What's he done now? He only called you in here for his own sake.
Finally, we see him.
This is inside the shell of your basic character, the room of the coward.
The coward is there, watching the screen.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've been here many times before. I see. I remember now. In my dreams. Everything despised and unwanted he pushed onto me, while he shut himself up in his own little shell. The coward Faye. The basis for our personalities. Who are you? Ah, you're my... Hey, let's watch this together. This is my most treasured possession. A brief moment of history.
Mm-hmm.
Ha! By repeatedly replaying the times he was full of happiness, he lives in his own happy little world. While I'm still alive only because of what's in those leftover dregs. Here, I'll show you everything about me. Oof. 10, 9, 8, 7. Here, watch this movie for a while. Oh, okay.
A little more backstory. Ours was an ordinary family. A strict but reliable father. A kind and loving mother. Up till then, it was complete happiness. But one day, Mother suddenly changed. She was like a totally different person. From that day on, Faye lost his home. Father was away often. He had some important work.
Oh.
Ominous. When Father was away from home, Faye was taken to a place with mysterious machines. Inside, there were many strangely dressed people. This should look familiar. Many types of probes were injected into Faye's body as the start to some kind of experiments. The tests caused Faye much pain. "Mom, help me! What are you doing? No! No!" Mother didn't come to his assistance. Young Faye had no way of resisting, but he was able to endure. Eventually, the experiments became unbearable. Many people gathered around Faye. These people had a high compatibility with the anima relics. This psychic contact with Faye was to force him to awaken. But no one could make contact with Faye. The power drawn out of Faye, regardless of his will, destroyed them all. This is unbelievable. Mother allowed this to take place? Psychic contact? What do you mean by awaken me? To awaken God, everything had to be in perfect order, with nothing lacking. Things divided in the past must become one complete whole again. Countless people died before Faye's eyes. Men, women, the old, the young. Even demi-humans. Suffering, grief, fear, ecstasy, a variety of emotions and words lingered and tumbled about Faye like broken dolls. It was a scene from hell. In front of Father, she acted normally. When Faye tried to tell Father about Mother's strange conduct and the experiments, Father's mind was taken up by his work, and he didn't really listen. He thought it was just childhood fantasies. But he didn't have to endure the pain much longer. Faye's subconscious discovered a way to escape from the trauma. He formed a separate persona to deal with things he didn't like or couldn't bear. He removed himself from out of harm's way. My role was to have all the things he hated forced upon me the moment they arose. From the time of my division from him, I was dominated by hatred. That hatred naturally turned into destructive impulses. I wanted to destroy everything. Mother, Father, the entire world. Finally, Father noticed Mother's odd behavior, but it was already too late. I had completely separated from that coward, my original self. The puppets were broken, and Faye's heart was too... What would make Mother do such a thing?
Mother repeated experiments to study the power she knew existed within me. Yes, that woman, Mother, was Myung. That's a lie. No, it's true. Mother was Myung. That's right. Karen had become Myung. What is it? What did you say? What is that you say? It's nothing special. Myung does not have only one host body. Myung's roots are sealed in the genes of all women. Any one of them could become Myung. It just happened to be Mother's turn. Only Ellie was special originally. No! Karen, Myung noticed that Faye's memory time axis had increased 2 or 3-fold. She then became convinced that Faye was the contact. Contact? Yes, I was the contact. That's why he called out to me. And why the time had come. Stop it. Cut it out. Dad. Dad. Mom, help Dad. Hey, Mom, why aren't you helping Dad? Dad's gonna die. Groff came seeking the power that exists within me, to return to his own body. You understand now, don't you? Groff is Lacan. We, his descendants, who inherited his lingering thoughts and memories from him, know only too well. Divided 500 years ago, he would become a part of us both. Lacan became Groff. He destroyed everything on the face of the earth. He then mastered how to possess the bodies of others by dwelling in their minds. He was probably enabled to do this after his contact with the existence. The bodies died, but Lacan's spirit continued living by possessing others. He had come that day to return his soul, at last, to the perfect reincarnation of his physical body.
That is why Lacan, quote-unquote, still exists, even though the contact transmigrated and became Fae. That's why he's still around, because he was able to possess others. So it's like his spirit is still floating around and possessing bodies and doing things.
Well, that kind of gives off the impression that that Lacan is the original contact of sorts, but that can't be right.
That's incorrect. He's not the original. He just has unique abilities. There's a little bit more about Groff coming, but I do have something to explain about him. It's the way Lacan... Actually, let me just explain it now. So Lacan is created basically from the concept of the mirror stage from the French psychoanalyst of the same name, Jacques Lacan. So the mirror stage is a little complicated, but I want to go ahead and explain it. It's based on the belief that infants recognize themselves in a mirror, sometimes a literal one, or another symbolic contraption which induces apperception, which means you are, in your mind, turning oneself into an object that can be viewed by the child from outside themselves. And it's theorized the mirror stage happens at about 6 months old. Doing this creates a vacillating sense of self-alienation as perception is caught between hatred, I hate that version of myself because it is so much better than me, and love, I want to be that image. From this conflict or drama, the ego is formed as a contrast to the body, and that's termed something called the dual relationship, characterized by illusions of similarity and reciprocity, as well as the idea of the imaginary and the real. Mm. So, Lacan, a lot of the things he says, he sees himself reflected in Ellie's eyes or in his painting or things like that. That's really where kind of his base personality comes from. And so it is very interesting that someone who has experienced so much self-alienation has the ability, like he manifests the ability to possess other bodies and leave his original, because his original body died. Lacan is his body is dead. So that's why the contact transmigrated. But what's left of him, the pieces of Lacan that he was able to bring with him, possesses other bodies, and that is Groff.
Which is why he wears armor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not the Lacan that we've seen underneath the armor. That's
correct.
Just another person that he's possessed. Okay, I'm understanding now.
Exactly.
What's being said here.
Yeah. It's funny because his abilities seem to manifest based on his personality, his particular type of fracturing, his self-alienation is manifested in his power. It's fascinating, really.
The body of Faye.
So he wants to repossess the body of the contact, the true contact.
Right.
That's why he kept provoking him.
Does he also have those psycho... What would we call them? Again, the memories?
Metempsychotic, yeah. Groff I believe, has access to, or had access to them when he was the contact. We need a little bit more about metempsychotic memory to fully answer that question, but yes is the short answer to that.
Okay. Father fought him, but he couldn't protect Mother or I. He pitifully fought on while coughing up his lifeblood. Graf made a mockery of Father, and Mother would not even help when he needed her most. As for their son, he couldn't take what was happening anymore. He gave in to his feelings and released his power, and as a result, Mother died. Mom. And he offloaded the results of his actions onto me. To avoid taking the responsibility for killing Mother, he used me as a shield. I also killed Mother. He pushed all the bad things onto me, but kept all the memories filled with happiness and Mother's love to himself. And he shut himself away with those memories inside his own little shell, forever. This is the place. What you see before you is what he made. He just keeps hanging on to those memories. That's what this is. Stop it. Just stop it. These scenes. Are these all there is to us? Enough already. There's nothing here. Just a world filled with deception and pain. It can't be helped. This is our world. This is everything. I was a fool. It was all my fault. I was so busy with my duties in Shavat that I didn't notice Karen had changed. I couldn't save you when you needed my help. Save me? Ah, why bother saying such nonsense now? It's not going to change anything. The only thing you can do now is die by my hand. Ugh. Even still, I'll show you that I can save you. Dad! Stop it, Id. Father's done nothing wrong. I know. This one is the real culprit. Mother and Father had no choice. Thanks. Pass it back to me. I'm playing with Mother. This is not reality. It's all lies. It's all fake. It's a trick. All of it, all of it, all of it. No, get out. This is my room. I thought you would always be with me. Why won't you see reality? Happiness, sadness? Aren't these all parts what combined to make the whole? Why won't you show him? Why don't you also show Id what you always watch? No, that's mine. I don't want to show it to the person who killed Mother. You should talk. You're the one who killed Mother. No, I didn't. You did. I didn't kill her. Mother didn't care for you. Father didn't notice either. That's why you killed her. I didn't kill her. I didn't. I didn't. Knock it off. We killed Mother. It's no one's fault but ours. It's not because we became young, or it's not because she became young, or because Father didn't notice. Don't look outside for the reason. Don't blame anyone but yourself. Yes, Mother was Myong, and I know that you suffered. No one could have endured that. But you can't push it onto it alone. We are all one person. We must all become one, right, Faye? Walk on your own 2 feet. Face up to the reality that you don't want to see. Show them to id everything you took for yourself.
Groff got blasted there.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lies. That woman, this scene, all illusions he made up. My consciousness can see through this trick. I won't be swayed. Id, that's enough. Doing that isn't going to solve anything. Mother saved us at the last moment. That is the truth, right?
So I want to take a moment to talk about Faye's mother real quick. Specifically, her name, Karen. She was named after the German psychoanalyst Karen Horney. She's generally regarded as the founder of feminist psychology, and she countered a lot of Freud ideas, particularly that of penis envy, with her feminist psychology theories, and asserted that psychological differences between men and women are generally societal and cultural. Most relevant to this character, though, is in her theory of neurosis, she believed it to be something that comes and goes, and placed emphasis on parental indifference toward their child, believing a child's perception of events as opposed to the parent's intentions is the key to understanding a person's neurosis. So, that's an interesting little background on kind of Karen's character. Myong is kind of part of that whole thing, but yeah, it's all sort of with the idea of a mother. Like Myong, Elheim to an extent, and Karen are all sort of part of different explorations of that idea within psychoanalytic theory.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The reality isn't all grim, Id. My power couldn't save anyone, it only destroyed. I thought that I could only make a connection with others through destruction. So I had to destroy it all. People, the world, even Ellie. No, that's not the case. We can save others just as our mother, despite being Myong, saved us. Our power can save people. We can save Ellie. That's a first, Mother being so warm. To me, she almost seems too warm. Faye, take the memories I have within me. You must know what it used to be like up until now. Know our identity, about who we are, and figure out what ought to be done. Our integration is not yet complete.
Here we go.
Hi, Kane. What is this?
Run away.
Helheim.
Abel.
Oh.
Cain and Abel.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't hand our child over to you. Wow, that is a romance doomed to failure. Live.
Yeah, Elheim consistently meets very tragic fates throughout the generations.
Wonder why. Khan, live. If God doesn't exist in our world, then I will create God with my own hands. What is this place? My execution site? Why do you turn on me? I thought we were friends. Who is it? Did I cause this? What has happened to me? What have I become? Live. I will live.
Looks a lot like it in that scene.
He does. Even if I go to hell, I will live till the end of this world. And if the world does not come to an end, I will destroy it with my own hands.
Here we go.
Faye. Faye. Who is it? Who's calling me? I am Har. What is this light? I reside in Zohar. I am the beginning and the end, the first and the last. God? God. Some would refer to me as that. From a certain point of view, it is right to view me as such. But at the same time, I am not. I am also a part of you. A part of me? I am defined by how people observe me. You are actually talking to a virtual version of me that you yourself create. I am your perception of me. I don't understand what you're talking about. Who or what are you? In one word, existence. I am.
Mm-hmm.
Existence. In actuality, I do not have a physical form. I am an existence of a higher dimension, the Force, a place you cannot perceive, but in terms you understand. It is a world where everything acts as kinds of waves. It is the source of this fourth-dimensional universe, the place where time and space is controlled, the fluctuating void, the wave existence.
We have finally met the wave existence. Um, Yeah, there's a little bit more to come, but I have a couple of things to explain about this.
What does such an existence have to do with me? Oh, that was facing.
Hmm.
Long ago, a modifier, or a pseudo-perpetual, infinite energy engine was created. That engine was named Zohar. That reactor was created by an ancient people from another planet to attain what is considered to be the ultimate energy possible within this four-dimensional universe. Eventually, those people used that same engine to create the ultimate interplanetary invasion weapon, Deus. Zohar was used as its primary source of power. But the unexpected happened. During the connection tests of Zohar with the newly completed Deus, the engine started to examine infinite potential phenomena. Requiring energy, the engine connected to this dimension to the higher dimensional space. As a result, that reactor merged or synchronized with the wave existence in that higher dimension. Me. I had descended from the point of contact created by the machine through the path of Sephiroth, or the domain you are in right now, and the incarnate in the world dimension, the four-dimensional world. There's a lot of big words happening right now.
Yeah, yeah, incarnated in the four-dimensional world.
After I advented to the four-dimensional world, in order to stabilize myself here, I had to exchange or materialize my form and entered into the modifier engine. In other words, I became bound in Zohar, the cage of fleshly existence. Since the time I was bound in Zohar, I have always wanted to return to my own dimension, and I came to a conclusion. I had to reverse the process I went through to arrive here. I must be released by the one who instilled within me a special feature of this dimension, the will. That one is you. Decided it was me? A special feature? Yes. I was given a special attribute of a human by you, the contact, when you observed me. I was given a mother's will. A mother's will? I'm sure you remember, after my descent, you had contact with the modifier engine Zohar.
Yep.
As a contact being but only a child, you defined my existence with your desire to return to your mother. Thus I came to prepare the mother's will. That will is Elheim. Ellie's disposition. Ellie's disposition was influenced by me? That's always why they found each other, too. Yes,
Mhm.
my will was incarnated through a biocomputer which was vital for Deus. After combining with me, the biocomputer evolved its functions, and that bioplant generated a central element that is her. I was split by your contact. My physical form or flesh stayed in Zohar, while my will went into Elheim and my power went into you. That's why I waited to unite with you, and now it is fulfilled. My only remaining desire is to break this cage of fleshly existence. In order to do that, I must become perfect by combining with Elheim, as well as my other split physical form, Deus. The only way to return to my original dimension is to destroy this physical body. In the four-dimensional world, Zohar is perfect, so in order to destroy Zohar, I need the strength that was attributed to you. Zohar can only be destroyed by the hands of the contact. What about Ellie? If Zohar is destroyed, what will become of Ellie? Zohar and Deus are one. She is bound to the system by another's will to become one with me. In order to release her, it is necessary to destroy that very system that serves as the Deus weapon. However, having been created as a weapon, the Deus system seeks to unify itself with all of you for a different purpose than that of mine. Originally, her release should have been performed by me, the one who desires to return back to the higher dimension. But I am also bound to the system just as she is, so I am unable to participate. You are the only one who can release her from the spell. Just as Deus and I are inseparable, you and her are also inseparable. All right, I'll destroy Deus and the Zohar modifier, and I'll save Ellie. You have experienced much loss and deprivation in your life. It is very tragic. No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Our contact and the resulting transference of power and will between you and I most likely played a factor in splitting your personality. I disagree. I can't blame anything or anyone besides myself. Regardless of what may have happened in the past, with the passing of time, the cause becomes more remote. It is a problem that comes from within myself that I myself must deal with. I see. You have managed to accept those tragedies, to tolerate all things, to comprehend and find where you stand in this world. If you have succeeded to do all these things, I am sure you will succeed in what awaits you now. To liberate all of us, use the Xenogears. Destroy Zohar. Wait, there's more I need to ask you. The system is awakening. Ask her later.
Okay, so before we move forward with this, I do want to explain real quickly. So the way the wave existence was speaking about itself is very similar to a couple of concepts. There is the idea of you cannot comprehend the true God within Gnosticism. You can only see how you are reflected. It's a concept called the monad, or the immaterial God of Gnosticism, which is the source of the pleroma, or the fullness of divine powers, sometimes referred to as the One. The monad functions as a first principle of existence and engages in emanation from which divine entities and realms flow, progressively degrading the further they are from the fullness of the prime mover. One emanation is Jesus, the lowest is Sophia, who formed the demiurge. The demiurge is the material god of Gnosticism, and is a fashioner and maintainer of the physical universe that attempts to replicate the divine world unsuccessfully due to the corrupt and limited nature of fleshly existence. Referred to in some traditions as Yaldabaoth, and referred to as the devil occasionally as well. So, yeah, I mean, we're essentially dealing with. We've asked the question several times going through this of what is God. There's not one answer. There appears to be what Groff refers to as Mother God, the Deus system, and it seems to be a sort of ultimate weapon, infinite power. But also there was the incarnation of Elheim through Persona and Kadamini. And then there is the wave existence, which ended up trapped in Zohar by going down the path of Sephiroth. And kind of that reflection is key to understanding it as well, because the path of Sephiroth is very much a reflection of not only a person, but of God, and how they are reflections of each other and the world. It's sort of a way of describing everything. And it's how the wave existence incarnated into the material universe. And so now it's stuck within the Zohar. And Faye is the contact because many, many, many millennia ago, he made contact with the wave existence. And that started all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about Faye. I'm talking about the original contact. But he is reincarnated along with the antitype, Ellie.
But she was in like a tube or something?
Yeah. We have a little bit more to find out about this. There's more to come here. I'm going to give the opportunity if you wanted to stop now. It's about 2 hours 45. We can go a little bit further, but it's going to be a long one.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack, and I don't want our video to go too much longer. I
Yep.
think we could all probably use a moment to let our brains decompress from this.
Yeah.
So
We'll go over 3 hours if we continue, because
yeah.
there's a decent amount to go. So we'll go ahead and call it here. But yeah, there's some really cool stuff coming up. But I wanted to make sure we got through a lot of the basically the history. Khan, Krellian, Sophia, Roni Fatima, all of those people, as well as we're seeing a lot of connections being drawn throughout the ages, and we're seeing some of the prime movers here. There is, with the revelation of what Miang is, there's a little bit more about the antitype. We understand why Faye is the contact now. There is the introduction of the wave existence near the end of the game. And we're starting to see kind of what we need to actually do. Our purpose is materializing for endgame here. We have to destroy Deus and free the wave existence, and we've just been told that will allow us to save Ellie.
Oh man. And I'm assuming Abel isn't even the original contact because it was a child on the ship.
Abel was a child on the ship. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, Abel was a child on the ship.
Okay, so he survived the crash then?
Correct. We haven't quite gotten to that yet, but Abel did survive the crash. He is the only survivor of the Eldridge crash on this planet.
Hmm.
So that's why when you were asking before if everybody died, everyone but Abel did. Abel was the only survivor. But we did have it explained as well that Deus engaged Persona through Kadamini and created Miang, essentially. And there's more to come on that, because there was the thing about the true Miang, the true mother.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to get into the mechanics of that, and that we will cover next time.
Yeah, I definitely have questions, but I don't want to drag this on any more than I already have, so I'll leave them for another time.
Yeah. We will definitely cover kind of the rest of the lore next time. This is a really good stopping point for this, even though there's not really a save point here. And yeah, we'll jump into the rest of this next time. I'm really excited for what's coming next here. So yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this, probably a little bit longer of a video. But yeah, stay tuned next time as we conclude this epic scene here in Xenogears.
Yeah. And if you've been enjoying what you watch, please hit all the buttons, check out our other stuff. We have a good time here. Hopefully you have too. But more than anything else, just thanks for hanging out with us. We love having you here. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments, especially with all these big bombshells being dropped. It's a little mind-boggling for those who haven't experienced this before, like myself. So
yeah, and we are going to be able to take some time to just do some general discussion here. So we are going to kind of deep dive and straighten out all this lore. It is being explained at this point, but yeah, there's some digestion that's up and coming. So stay tuned. We gotta wrap this thing up and conclude it, but we got a couple of things to do before we do that. So there's still plenty more material here.
Right. But the finale is fast approaching, so don't miss out.
That's right.
In the meantime, we hope you have a wonderful day. And we will see you all on the next video.
See you next time, everyone.
Bye-bye now.
Diddly diddly do 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 do. Thanks for watching.